What's the word, good people, ladies and gentlemen? Everybody been doing? Hopefully, everybody been good. I'm always taking it day by day. You know, observing, always observing and understanding. And moving forward. Within myself and keeping things all cool in the game. But on the up and up, most definitely, hopefully, everybody been good. I could have got on this thing a couple of days ago. I've been playing. Uh, Actually, definitely could have got on here yesterday, but time be moving by so fast. Always trying to keep things in order and trying to balance life. You know, but um, I want to bring y'all more topics and jump into things. Like and subscribe also. Comment. As I bring forth more videos. Today I'm kind of going, run into talking about like the systems that's in place in America and uh, the different categories. There's different systems as far as when it comes to making money. When it comes to the systems and contracts and you know which system are you a part of? When it comes to making money and the politics that come within all of these systems to a certain degree. And I think this is a topic where a lot of times a lot of people aren't aware of exactly the situations that they're in. Um, and that's one thing I think is big when it comes to um, understanding the different ways, the different ways of how America works. So, for instance, there's different ways, that you can be set up, as far as making money. So, for instance, you could be within a contract. A lot of times you got people that do music. They're in contracts. And this is the thing. So with music, I'm an 80s baby. I was born in 84. So when it comes to music and we look at these celebrities and a lot of the people that we like, the artists, that's always on the television. Nowadays, social media, they promote themselves on social media a lot. We always wrap ourselves into the glamour, but we never actually understand the system, or when it comes to music, for instance, the contracts that a lot of these artists be in. So in the 90s, with the music particularly, I'm not even going to speak for movies, but me, being big on music and kind of paying attention to music, artists a lot of times get put in deals where they get advance money. So, especially in the 90s, a lot of artists got advance money. So that means that you got to understand that this is money that's not like, for instance, like if you were in the NBA, which there are certain contracts in the NBA, certain people have that stand out. They'd be like, that probably could be better. But a lot of times in sports players usually get guaranteed money. But then there'd be certain stipulations in there where they may have to meet certain deadlines in order to get a certain amount of money, that's put within their contract. With music, majority of the time, a lot of those artists are handed upfront money, advance money. So a lot of times the financial part of it tends to play out wrong as time goes on with a lot of artists when it comes to them dealing with the record company or the manager or whatever the case may be. Um, it's very tricky when it comes to that music game and when it comes to them contracts. You know, I remember, growing up and liking Crucial Conflict, and they had a couple of hits out in the 90s, and especially everybody in the city, on the west side, and even out south too, was loving Crucial Conflict, but not really knowing, you know, what they were going through contract wise, and that's for so many artists, especially that was coming out through the 90s, you know, as the 2000s hit, as far as music, a lot of people started, finding creative ways to get their music out where they didn't necessarily have to use record labels, major record labels, things like that, you know, um, which kind of started changing the game a little bit once you kind of, started finding people who kind of knew their own worth and, pushed themselves in a way that a lot of other people, wouldn't think to do. They would go the route of, going to a major label and, you know, just, trying that luck that way and hoping to get advancement money where, then they can put themselves on. But a lot of times, once again, when you get advancement money, especially in that music game, which majority of music artists get advancement money. It's only like a handful where they get contracts where, you know, they actually get money that they don't have to pay back, basically. With that advancement money, you have to find ways to make that money work for you to double up, and that's really the situation that comes with advancement money, in my opinion. Yeah, you're doing music, but now, you got to do shows. But see, also with them contracts, you got to hope that the shows you're doing, you're able to keep that money because a lot of times you got to pay certain percentage to the label, off the tours and the shows you're doing, and a lot of times that percentage be set up in the record labels favor. So I know with the music game, and I'm not all the way big with understanding the music game and the contracts, but I kind of understand the surfaces, and I'm aware of the the contracts, the 360 deals, that a lot of people talk about, which is even still going on today. Like I said, a lot of these artists still today, even with the info that some people are learning about advancement money, they still take it, because they're like, man, I need the money, and then they go out and they do their thing, and it's like it's not that they're not a good artist, but a lot of times it's just not selling to the expectations of the label, and the label probably can put expectations on you so high that it's almost impossible for you to even be able to make a profit of even 50 cents or a dollar. Like, that's how some of them contracts are set up when it comes to the music game. But that's a system that's in place in America, that a lot of people don't exactly understand. They know about it, they jump into it because money is powerful, and Money do make people do a lot of different things, and it can get very weird when it gets to money. But some people know how to push that thing out. I know Future did, you know. Him and Rocco had a little situation, but they got that worked out. They had to go through court and all that, but the game can get it can money can be, man, it can be something, you know. But once again, that's with the music game, a system that's in place in America, you know, and probably, and, you know, in other countries as well. But I know here that's a system that's like in place, advancement money, and you can get advancement money not only in the music game but in your personal life. So you got the music game contracts, you got sports contracts. A lot of contracts in sports are guaranteed money. Like I say, they got some people got certain stipulations in their contract where it get a little technical because of what comes with them. Maybe they got something to prove. So the contract that they got set up in a way where they gotta meet certain expectations by certain dates, you know, and uh, what can come with that is politics, you know, which can come with any one of these systems that's in place in America. The politics, you know. Now you got a contract where you already trying to prove yourself, whatever happened, yada yada yada. Maybe you got caught drinking, you know, DUI, whatever. You know, you proving yourself. Now you put into a situation where you got a contract where you're meeting certain deadlines to make this money at this day. You know, you got to have so many 3-point shots by this date to make this money, and you gotta go to this class on Tuesdays and Thursdays in order to get this money. You can't miss no more than 2 days. It'd be a lot of different contracts that be set up like crazy. You'd be like, damn, you know, and you know that's a part of the system that's in place in America, and it's about understanding. You know, a lot of times people don't understand these systems, these contracts, and once again they can get hectic. Now, say you know, average, you know, working, you know, respectable person, you know, then it starts coming into what type of system are you in, you know, as far as like with the work that you do, you know, are you know, in a system where you got a back end, or are you in a system where, you know, any day, you know, anything can happen. You don't know, and you're not covered. With me saying that, I'm saying some people are in positions where they work non-union jobs, and then you got people in position where they work union jobs. Now, there's nothing wrong with the two. It's more of understanding the systems that's in place in America. So, if you're working a non-union job, and this is your way of making money, this is how your income comes in. You get paid weekly, bi-weekly, but it's non-union. So now you want to ask yourself, well, what kind of company are you working for? If it's a non-union environment, you want to tell yourself, well, hopefully this is the company where if I'm hired on board once I'm in, and you know I show my work ethic and what I can do, I'm hoping that the company embrace me and take me in and invite me into the benefits that come with the company, and the whole great rodeo as to what comes with that company when it's a non-union environment. So is this a loving company, or not even necessarily having to be so loving, but is this a company that has my back at the end of the day? When I come in and I put in my 8 hours or my 10 or my 12 hours, is this a company in a non-union environment that's gonna have my back if I get into troubled times, if you know I might mess up on the situation, whatever the case may be that comes with the job, or will politics come into play where you start setting up things to jeopardize my job, and then if it's somehow I get into a situation where I have to come into HR, I don't have anybody to back me or a way to cover myself because of it being a non-union environment, and you already having the setup to get me fired. You have to ask yourself those questions when you're dealing with non-union environments. Once again, there's nothing wrong with a non-union environment. If you are working with the company or whatever the case may be, and they take you in and it's something that you like to do, and then on the flip side, they're taking care of you. They're telling you, hey, this is a 401k package plan. We offer life insurance. We offer bonuses once a month. You do this, we'll step you up in a raise after 2 months, and then another one after 6 months. And it's things that you want to hear, and then at the same time, it's things that the company is actually going to fulfill. The company is that type of company in a non-union environment. Hey, that's a great company. And that's what we actually need, and that's what it actually should be to begin with. But then also on the flip side, when you're dealing with a union environment and you're doing your 9 to 5 or your 10 to 6 or your 11 to 7, your 8 to 4, in a union environment, you have a back end. So you're paying union dues. Not everybody's a fan of union dues. Some people pay $50 in union dues. Some people pay 100. Some people pay 40. Some people pay 120. Depends on the company you're working with, the union that you're in, and maybe you got to add ons for them to take out more money. For them to cover, maybe if you can, get you a pension or something once you become 62 years old or 66, or a lot of times you can take a pension at 55, but you'll just get penalized, where they'll short your pension a little bit, but if you wait to 62 or like 64, whatever the union contract states, then you'll be eligible for the full benefits. With unions, a lot of times they're set up different, but with unions, once again, the biggest thing is, of course you're paying union dues, and with the union dues, a lot of times, the union dues is going within the union organization. And what comes within the union organization is, it's like a brother sisterhood. And it's a nice community of people that is on the same page, and the objective is to have each other's back, so to speak. It's having everybody's back. It's you can call it a gang, you can call it a group, you can call it a family, whichever you like. But the objective is for the family within the union organization. The family has each other's back, and you follow certain guidelines within the union that's pretty much catered to you. And at the same time making sure that you also understand that there is a job to be done. And with the job, there are certain things that you do need to follow, you know, within the union guidelines. But what comes with a union is the employer a lot of times is not going to be so quick to pick on you as much or so quick to just find ways to fire you because the employer also understands that, for one, that they're there for their business. Of course, they're the employer. Why wouldn't they understand that? But even further, they also understand that certain guidelines that they need to follow as well on their end to, for one, keep the business going afloat and rising. Any employer wants their company to be on an elevation. I don't know any CEO, VP, um, directors or anybody who want to see things fail. You know, that doesn't make money or make sense, in my opinion. But employers, they know that there's guidelines, um, especially when it comes to dealing with a union. They also know that when it's non-union, because there are certain laws and regulations that set up even for non-union environments. But more important is understanding those laws and regulations. And a lot of times, a lot of people don't jump into those things because they just don't know. But in union environments, employers are saying, hey, I'm here, got a business to run. I just expect, you know, this to be done, and this is like this and this, then I don't have anything to say. And the union covers that end, and they also cover the family part and making sure everybody understands that follow these laws and guidelines. If you get into a situation where you do have to, come in for disciplinary actions, well, you can speak to the union rep, and the union rep can come on site and handle the situation. Um, and you don't want to incriminate yourself or put yourself in a situation where you're saying things and they're holding it against you, and you probably said so much that now the union rep can't even help you. But unions are designed for the employee, and making sure that you're able to get your paycheck on time, making sure that you're getting your 8 hours and your 40 hours, and making sure that if you ever have to do any overtime, you're getting time and a half. And if you're working on holidays, you're getting double time and a half. And making sure that you're getting your vacation time as your years go along. And after so many years, you have so many weeks. And it's just an ongoing process. And it's a structured process. And it's a solid process that's been in place in Chicago, particularly for a very, very long time. I had a grandma that was in the union, a lot of aunties and uncles that are very familiar with union laws and how unions work. But with me saying all that, I say all that to say this. These are the systems when it comes to the money that you're making and the rules and the regulations and how you're going about things, depending on the system that you're working in. You got people that are independent workers. You got independent contractors. People who, they're very handy. Um, they deal with invoices once they get themselves to a certain status where people are familiar with their work and they're in business for themselves. And what comes with being in business for yourself is you being more responsible for your money. Because now the thing about being independent in whatever you're doing, you have to be on point with the count of all of the dollars that's coming into you on a day-to-day basis. Um, and understanding how your business, your operation is set up when you're doing uh, when you're living in an independent system, of working, where you're not in a non-union environment or technically a union environment. But I guess you could be like more in a non-union environment. Is I guess it could somewhat fall under that category. But I more so put it like in an independent lane where you are relying on people to love your work, whatever it is that you do. And the objective is to gather as many people as you can to generate a revenue that's consistent. Now, what comes with that is, depending on the work that you're doing, maybe you'll get yourself to a point that, you know, uh, you have so much clientele, at what you're doing that you may have to start paying people to help you out with whatever uh, independent venture that you're into. And then what comes with this is also taxes. A lot of times, what category are you in as far as like how are you gonna file your taxes? You know, are you gonna file earned income? Are you gonna file child credit? Or are you gonna file the independent way? It's all kind of different ways to file taxes depending on the system, that you're in, that comes with America. Like I say, the music game, it's nice, it's glamorous. You really, really, really gotta put in work when you get them deals from them labels. And a lot of times, some of these labels don't even really be necessarily major labels. Some people get signed on to deals with people who be signed on to a deal that possibly could be signed on to a deal. And when you really look at the logic of that, in my opinion, for the most part, that's probably going to be bad. It's probably going to be bad. But it's all about how them contracts structured, especially when you're dealing with music, movies, and Hollywood. Honestly, I'm not all the way 100 with understanding, or hell, probably even 80%. I'm not all the way understanding with Hollywood and movie roles and the deals and contracts that people sign for movies, but I can imagine it's probably about the same. I've been hearing recently a lot of these favorite actors and actresses that people like, are just, they've been grinding for a very long time, and it's taking them a while to get their bag. And a lot of times, people don't understand why it takes so long for them to get their bag when they've been the star for so long. And it's something that comes up often in America. Ever since I've been a little itty bitty kid. You know, I've been following comedians, music very heavy. You know, I'm very big into music, especially the rap game. I came up playing the drums. My grandma put me in the drums. I'm a beast with the drums. You know, I haven't played the drums in a while, but the repetition doesn't take long to hit on to the beat. And that's one of the biggest things a lot of people probably don't know about me, you know. And what comes with drummers is, you know, being on point, you know, because they are the rhythm section. The rhythm section keeps everybody on point. The drummer, the piano player, the bass guitar, they keep the rest of the band on point. They keep them on beat. That's what drummers do. But I've always paid attention to music and kind of tried to pay attention to how contracts are set up and, you know, that whole thing that come with the music game and with sports and the contracts, you know, that come with sports. You know, sports get more guaranteed contracts, but then you do got a few stragglers where they got certain deadlines they got to meet in their contract, you know, and it get a little rough for them, you know. So it ain't all peaches for, you know, some people in the NBA or the NFL or, you know, baseball getting very great money, very very fascinating, great money. You know, them dudes over there is different, you know. But what also comes with that is the black community. The kids, you know, can't afford to play the, you know, the Pop Warner minor league baseball because it's so expensive now. So you don't see that many black people in baseball. You used to, but not now. You know, it's very expensive. A lot of households can't uphold the cost for, you know, their kid to start off, you know, with the basics to baseball. But I could talk forever. I'm gonna get up out of here. This is probably my longest video. Shoot, this is about a good 32 minutes. I've been talking for a nice minute when it comes to, you know, the systems in America. But I'm gonna get up out of here, man. Hopefully y'all check this video. I know it's 32 minutes. There's a lot of YouTube videos out here. They got hours, 2 hours long. And like I say, trust me, I can come. I got topics. I'm trying to, you know, pace myself, and, you know, it might be a day I might put 3, 4 videos up at one time. You know, I got the topics. You know, it's just for me. It takes for me to take the time to gather myself, put myself in place, to sit down and run through these topics. You know, some topics may probably be more interested than others. I got plenty of topics where I know, you know, it should pretty much catch people's attention, and that's the whole goal. At the same time, you know, everybody got difference of opinions on all kind of things that come with life. Um, the beautiful thing is us being able to understand the beauty of being able to have different personalities in life. Really, that's a great thing. And sometimes we don't understand what the next person is doing, or why they're, you know, acting a certain way. And the beauty is because that's because there's different personalities in the world. And one of the most beautiful things in the world is, whether people believe it or not being able to understand certain human beings. That's really a beautiful thing if you fix your mind to be able to see the picture. But everybody, I'm up out of here, man. I done had enough. You know, that's 34 minutes. It's going into 35. You know, so. But yeah, the systems in America, so many different systems when it comes to the money that you're making, whether it's the music game, movies, Hollywood, you're in sports, You working a 9 to 5? Are you union? Are you non-union? Are you independent? Are you an independent contractor? Are you selling clothes out of the trunk of your car? What are you doing? Do you understand the system and what comes with the system that's in place in America? I'm up out of here, y'all. Much love. Like, subscribe, comment, do all that good stuff for me. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm out. Peace out. Bow.